Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for part 2 of assembling the Black Templar Chaplin. Anyway, this one I was looking at it and I saw like there's a huge line that really is kind of annoying. I'm going to try something. I think I talked a little bit about the sprue goo. I do have some in my kit. I finally brought some up and some toothpicks. So let me see what we can do with that. I've got to get the tools out of my, oh, really tools, yay. It's toothpick, and really it's the sprue goo itself. This is it. This is a bottle of sprue goo. Basically all it is extra thin cement with chunks of sprue in it. Let it melt down, stir really well, and there you go. That is the mess. But it seems to work pretty good. I've used it on one of my other miniatures. It was a goblin. Um, Christmas goblin, and it had a lot of seams as well. But if you look really carefully, well, I'm sticking to some of it, but that's it. It's got plastic in it. It's extra thin, so it should go into those creases pretty well. So I'm just gonna put it on. Excuse me while I think a little bit, just to make sure. I've seen people use old brushes. I've seen people use sculpting tools. I've seen people use whatever to apply this. I mean, it's not like a top secret thing. You know, lots of people use it in place of putty. I do have regular putty too, but I don't know. I wanted to try this out, see how well it works. As it said, it melts the plastic, and it goes right into it. A little cleaner than putty, or should be, so I'm going to put a little there too on his belt. All right, I'll apologize. We had a little bit of a problem there. Um, this isn't going to show me cleaning up that Crozius staff, but basically it's the same thing. Clip it off the sprue, clean off the lines, and then just glue it on. Extra thin does really make it a little easier. It's just cleaner. So let's see, what else can I put on tonight before I get that extra piece? We can do his backpack. It looks like the book. Now let's do the top of the Crozius. Just stick it off. There again, there's a huge uh, stub at the bottom of the skull, little jaw. I'll clean that nice and gently. Nothing worse than a skull, little jaw. Not really, I'm kidding. But in this situation, I think it would look kind of silly because that helps keep it on. This one really does take a close look to look for seam lines. It doesn't look too bad, believe it or not. That's the other thing with GW. There are lines. Yeah, it does need cleanup, but it is definitely not as bad as half the other kits that I get um, from other manufacturers. They've definitely cleaned up their act over the years. I don't know if it's quite worth the price that they cost. Their differential is insane. That's why Manic is doing so well with their counter GW games. The games aren't too bad. Prices are definitely better. Yeah, these aren't quite for a person with an extreme limited budget, but there again, I still love these things. It's kind of addicting too after making so many over the years. And then just the fluff. I've been reading a lot of their novels lately. I thank my friend Dan for that. He really did get me back into this stuff. He chuckles whenever I tell him that. He's an evil person. Not really. He's a good person. So, there we go. Their assembly is so easy too. This goes on his belt towards the bottom I don't even know what the heck you want to call these things. I'm sure they have really cool names for all their bits. But let's trim that little bit off there. Because, you don't want it hanging on because it looks ugly. Alright. There, clean off the extra. I also keep an old brush in my toolkit too for the smaller things I have to get the debris out of. It works pretty nice too, but since we're not quite, I don't think these bits are that bad, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. Again, a little bit of glue on both parts. Glued into place. And there you have it. There is another piece. There's a little bit of glue that I got that is bothering me right there. Tell you what, let me get a pair of tweezers. There we are. Let's try that. I think it's a little too small, too stringy for my fingers. There we go. Hey, another use for tweezers. Excuse me, a pretty loud car just went by. I love cars. Sometimes I love loud cars, but that didn't sound like a really great loud car. So, all right, let's get his book. We'll glue that on. Well, we'll glue that on after I do the rest of it. The other thing I want to complain a little bit about was fine cast. I read a book that had Eisenhorn, the Inquisitor from 40K in it. He's one of my favorite characters. He's pretty cool. It's from the Pariah series, which I really enjoy so far. Pariah and Penitent are the two books out so far. There's a third coming out. Who knows when? Dave Nab is a writer, so I mean he's pretty prolific, and he was focusing on finishing up the Siege of Terra line. With the third book in that for the what is it? Oh, basically where Horus is killing the yeah, Horus is killing Sanguinius, and I've never read them. They look great, but the third in the series is coming out, and I know he was focusing on ending that, so hopefully he'll get back to finishing up the Pariah. That's a Beckwin series, actually, I think is the name of it. It'd be good to have an end to that. I do like to collect those and have them sitting around, but it's kind of hard when they're years between. And I have my attention deficit kind of personality where I just want all of them now. And then I look at another series. So there we go. There's that. Let's see. What else can I do that's not going to be in the way? I really do need to clean up where I did the sprue goo. So I don't want anything in the way for that. So his backpack's not going to be, power pack, whatever you want to call this. I know that's where his power pack is. So the power pack for his armor. Some pretty good stuff written into the stories. I really didn't know a lot about the lore. I knew little bits and pieces over the years. It's good to have people to tell me stuff. It does make it a lot more interesting to me. Make it so I want to buy things, unfortunately. But at least I know what's going on. Really, if you read them, they're not bad. Right now, I'm reading a Fall of Cadia, if you're interested. That's been out for a while, but they just re-released it on Games Workshop. And it's so much cheaper if you can find it on there than it is to actually buy it anywhere online. Other than the ones that don't sell real well. There's a couple books that just didn't sell, and you can get them for like $10. They're the lesser known name things. There's some pretty good ones though. Huron Blackheart, if you ever want an interesting storyline, an interesting ending, kind of a neat twist in it. That I think I got for $10. It's hardback. It's only like 200 pages, so it's a really quick read. But in my opinion, It was worth the original $19, but I'm glad I got it cheaper because that's just nice to have a little bit of money savings every now and then. All right. Still, I think there's too much of a. There we go. I think that's fine. His backpack has an iron halo on it, so we're going to clip that off the screw and glue that on. Glue that on. All right. Like that. All right, there we go. Let's look, see how bad. See, the problem with this is it's so thin that it's hard to really see the lines, and it's even harder to clean them with the tools I have. I could do the inside of the halo. I really don't want to go in between the spikes because that's kind of in the way. They're in the way and kind of annoying. All right, so let's put that on. Again, flip that. As you can see where it mounts. I think I'm a little far down on my screen there for you to see really well. That's it. That is how it goes. It just goes on. I'm not sure. Let me see. Should have a dip. There we are. That is the dip. Let's put that on. Okay, a little bit of a dip where it goes. Let's put a little bit more glue. Don't want to totally overdo it. This thin stuff is nice because it goes on. Oops, sorry about that. I just dropped a piece and of course the halo fell off. So, well, I will be looking for that. No, there it is. Yay, I found it. Okay, got it. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Let's just put that on. As I was saying, the thin glue does a really good job around. It doesn't quite look like I would want it to. Maybe it does lean forward on his head. So let's go ahead and put a little bit more in. Make sure it goes on. Looks pretty good. Nope, it doesn't. Let's try the other way. Let's see if it goes better. Yeah, there, that's even better. Okay. That should be good. We don't want to put any more glue on that because it'll start eating too much. Take a little bit of glue again. A little bit of glue down in there. Stick these things together. Like that. That looks like it leans kind of far in. Let me take that off again. Let me try leaning it this way, see if it does any better. Nope. Well, apparently, it's supposed to lean that far over his head. Again, experts would be able to tell me, or people who know more about this. Maybe that's my goal in life. Let me learn more about Space Marines armor and what all these things are. The problem of being a little attention deficit. There's so many interests in life. So little time to totally focus on any one thing. Now, here's what I was going to do before I blacked out, or before the screen blacked out. I wanted to show you. This is one of the shoulder pads. I think I mentioned probably my first episode. It's a spare one that I had from the Black Templar box. If you look, it's pretty cool. It has a cross on it. Has some extra frills. The one that came with this is just that plain boring thing. So let's see if it'll fit. You know what? It does. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So I'm going to use that one instead because that will work really well for him. Take some glue, just let it sink down between the shoulder pad and the shoulder there. And again, a little bit here. Okay. There we go. Tell you what, I am going to stop there for right now because if you look, you can see how that seam is right now. It needs some cleanup. That's what that shoe goo is. It filled the seam okay, but it still needs cleaned. And then I've got to finish the arm, and then I'll need to wait for that head. I could go down and look for some extra, see if any of those will work, but I think I'll have a little patience for once, maybe. Thank you very much. I will see you on the third episode of this.